Morning, everybody.
Morning.
It's good to see everybody. I want to say thank you to the people in our audience here who are joining us this morning.
Morning, everybody.
For the sacred energy of Circle. So today you're going to be able to watch.
See everybody. I want to say thank you to the people in our audience here who are joining us this morning.
Sorry, got some
for the sacred
feedback here.
energy of Circle. So today you're going to be able to watch. See everybody. I want to say thank you to the people in our audience.
There we go. I apologize for that. I've got a little feedback coming there. That's our little Zoom gremlins working with us, our Zoom spirits or something, I don't know. But again, I want to thank everybody for joining us in the sacred energy of Circle this morning. Today, you're going to be able to watch our evidential mediums. And today we have Effie, Candice, Adrienne, Joann, Tamara, Elise, and myself. You'll be able to watch them as they connect with people who have crossed over to the other side and deliver messages from them. So we hope that by watching our mediums at work, you'll come to understand that the loved ones who you may have lost are in fact still with you. So please join us as we open with a prayer. Holy Father, Mother God, thank you for allowing us to come together today in service of spirit. Please help us to open all of our senses, physical and spiritual, so that we can receive your messages without interference from our own minds. We humbly ask that you make this circle an uplifting and joyous experience for everyone in attendance. Please ask the spirits who recognize the voices in this room to join us this morning so that we will know that they watch over us, love us, and protect us still. And please allow us to deliver the information presented by Spirit with grace and compassion, in complete trust and respect of your infinite wisdom. Amen. All right. Who would like to start us off? I think we can go 10 minutes this morning if that works for everybody.
I can start, Carol.
Thank you, Effie. Step on up.
I'm very drawn to Candice. I do have a man stepping forward. This is a friend. I do feel he was a medium, and he was also a trance medium where you would have seen him. Would you understand a friend on the other side, Candice?
I do have a friend.
And would you understand he was a trance medium and a medium?
No.
So this friend, would you understand he's an older man?
Middle age, who I'm thinking of.
And would you also understand that he was a very colorful man and how he dressed and how he presented himself?
Yes.
And would you also understand that he would experiment with not flying saucers, but objects in the air, that he could do this?
Possibly.
And he makes me feel, Candice, that he was professional and that he would have been doing this for a long time. And would you understand a name like Ed that is around you, around your loved ones? Ed.
I'm just hesitating because I do know Ed who's passed a little bit, and he was a medium, but I don't know him well.
Right. Would you have seen videos of him in trance doing galaxy? Well, doing so. This is who he makes me feel, who is coming through. You don't know a lot about him, so we're going to be Googling him afterwards. This man makes me feel that he comes from Europe, so I do feel like I have an accent when he speaks. Would you understand this?
He would have had an accent.
And would you understand he would have came from a place, I feel like it's in Europe, where it's Scotland, Ireland, within that domain right there. And now he's taking me to England. Would this make sense to you?
I think he traveled there.
And this man was someone that really, when he's there, he's a magician. So would you have, I feel like when he's a magician, he could do magic when he's demonstrating. Would you have heard about this or read about this from him?
No.
No. Now, with this man, that he comes in with a lot of, with a lot of meditation that he does and really, really worked hard at what he did. He's just, would you understand people around you that would know of him?
Yes.
And would you also understand that he left his, not his mother, but I do feel he has a lady here that he wants to reference. Would you understand you're close to this lady?
I know of the lady. Yeah.
And would you also understand she lives alone right now? She is missing him very, very much.
I think so. Yeah.
And this lady makes me feel also, when she's here, it feels like she's a sister to him or like a sister energy to him. Would you understand this?
Yes.
And would you also understand that they travel together when he would do demonstrations, mediums, trance?
I'm not sure.
This lady that's still here, she also makes me feel that you would understand that they would go for tea, but if you don't go, if they didn't go for tea, would you understand that you go for tea with somebody that you very, very much or have a close friendship with?
Mhm.
And would you also understand that name starts with E?
For me,
Yes.
my friend, I need to think about that.
And I feel like this friend is also very colorful when he's bringing this information to me, and he's going through also a tough time in his life. He goes through up and down, up and down. Would this make sense to you?
Yeah.
And would you also understand he's a tea drinker?
Yes.
And would you also understand you did go for tea with him?
We had tea together. Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. And the magician that comes in, the one that really dazzled the audience and really, really was drawn to him, he would have had this appeal when he was demonstrating. When you see him, you're very, very much drawn to him because of how he's dressed, but also how he speaks, but he's very, very fast when he moves. Would this make sense to you?
Yeah. Bruce.
And as he brings in the lady that's still living here, very, very much, she's a much older lady. Would you understand this?
Yes.
And there's also, I feel she has abilities too. So would you be aware that she's a medium, that she also does has metaphysical modalities?
Mhm.
And she's someone that's very, very, when she's very, very old, she also makes me feel she's similar to him and how she dresses and how she speaks and the way she moves about her.
Mhm.
And would you also understand with her that she does a little bit of spirit art?
Um, I'm not 100% sure.
Would you have heard that there was a trip to Asia that they went to?
I think it was the UK.
The UK. So with with this lady that's still here and very much missing him, he just wants to learn to know that he does come in, he does watch her very, very closely, and they still have this very, very strong connection from the other side. When she is in meditation, he's very, very much helping her too, when he's here. And it's he can do more work for her on the other side than he could do here for her. And this is where she's going to blossom even further with her abilities. And but I don't feel she is a beginner or a medium, intermediate. She is very advanced when he takes me there. Um, I just want to thank Ed for coming in very, very much and just being a beautiful, beautiful magician when he's here. And this is what he makes me feel because I talked about tarot and he comes in as the magician. He can do many, many things. I'm going to keep going and see who else is here.
Thanks.
Oh, very drawn to Tamara. Jewels and dazzles. Tamara, would you understand that you've left a lot of, you do have some beautiful, I feel material things, but you left a lot of that behind in your life. You're, I just feel so much more, you know, the meaning of life when you're here. You're at a place right now where you're looking to find a much deeper connection with your soul, Tamara. Can she hear me? I think you're muted, Tamara.
Tammy, you need to unmute. Okay, technical difficulties. Let me see if I
Are
can.
you able to unmute her?
Let me see if I can unmute, and no, I can't. Let me see it here. Asked to unmute. There we go. Thank you. Okay.
Oh.
Can you hear Tammy?
Oh, yeah, I can hear now.
Okay.
I'm
Effie's
being,
talking.
go ahead.
Go ahead.
Tamara, did you hear my sentences before?
Oh, I didn't hear the first couple. I was kind of, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I do feel like I'm very drawn to you, and I'm also understanding that there was material things. You've left all of that behind you. I do feel you're moving forward in a place where you want to connect deeper with your soul, and you really, really want to find pearls of wisdom in this next chapter of your life. Would this make sense to you?
Absolutely.
And would you also understand that you're going deeper into finding not mythological, but feeling more spiritual of the meanings of the symbols of the legends from the past and trying to make sense of them when they come in. It's almost cryptic what I'm feeling with words, but a long time ago of another ancient languages. Would you understand this, Tamara?
So
If
let me
I
just,
feel like symbols, words, cryptic, very, very much symbols from a long time ago, words that we don't talk about today. I feel like you're getting a lot of downloads and you're really researching this from the past, but it's very metaphysical, spiritual, mythological, all together in one.
there is the beginning of something like that. Yes.
And would you also understand that you're looking to start writing about this and possibility of making this into a book or into like a chapter, a novel of your life, but flowing into a book?
Oh, the thought crossed my mind. Yeah.
So I want to guide you to keep doing this, to keep moving forward, dust off the typewriter, to bring it out. You're going to be receiving lots of downloads from the other side, and you're also going to be receiving a lot of guidance when you go back into the past and trying to figure out how it all started. There's lots and lots of excitement, new beginnings in your life. Very, very excited for you, Tamara. Very, very wow, I can't wait to hear about this. They're giving me lots and lots of stars around you. I want to thank the entire universe for coming in for you today too. And they also say that you look up to guidance for them, and you love looking at the sky where the stars are in the middle of the night. Would you understand this?
I would. Yes. Yep.
And that's when you get your deepest downloads. And I want to leave you with that, Tamara.
Thank you so much, Effie. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Okay, so Candice, can you give your feedback first?
Yes. I feel that this friend of ours who I thought it was, he did do like flying professionally in a different circumstance. And we used to always like have tea together, and he was close to his sister. And then the friend who I didn't know too well, who was a medium, his name I know was Ed, and he had like a big personality. So he was the magician type, I feel, of what I've been told about him. And I know that there were tips and also about the elderly lady that he's making reference of, she also took those trips and is trying to better herself, but she's very wise and has been doing this a long time. So thank you.
Thank you, Tammy.
All right, and then Tammy, do you want to give her your feedback?
Yes, I would say that something like that's been going on kind of for the last year, but more intensively. Well, it depends. It kind of goes intensively and then it kind of wanes. But once again, now it's, it's very, things are happening. So something's happening. I'm not sure what, but it looks pretty interesting. Yeah. So I do look up. I look at the moon all the time, and I'm actually focusing much more now on my guides and recognizing their energy when they come in. And so, yeah, I'm doing a deep dive into that. So,
Beautiful. Thank you.
Okay. Effie, I have a question for you. If you could unmute. When you said this for both Candice and Tamara. You said, I feel very drawn to you. So can you explain, for the benefit of the people who are watching this on YouTube, how you were able to isolate who these spirits were for?
It's at the very, very, very beginning when I start.
Can't hear you.
At the
Sorry.
very, very beginning when I start, even prior to a minute, 30 seconds, I feel very pulled to somebody in the circle. And I try to go direct as much as possible, but this time it was so strong on Candice that if it wasn't Candice, I would have gone to Tamara, who's right below her. But I was just so pulled and drawn, and my eyes kept going to her subconsciously without even trying. It was just, and then right after Candice, it's interesting. I was so pulled to Tamara, but it was more the picture behind her that I kept seeing in my vision, and I just needed to go to Tamara.
So are you
It's
saying then that it was like spirit was forcing you to look at the person who this message was for?
my soul was drawn to both ladies.
Okay.
Both ladies. So my soul, I could feel it within my subconscious, was pulling me towards Candice, and then they're in my right, and then it was pulling me towards Tamara without trying. Without trying. It wasn't even no direction.
Okay.
It was just intuitively, I went right to Candice, and then I went right to Tamara.
Okay.
And there was no, and the other I find is everybody else on the circle, wherever I am, blurs out around me.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
when I went to Candice, everybody else blurred out. So I knew that it was too strong of a link. And it doesn't go away. It stays very, very strongly.
Okay. Well, thank you.
You're
That's
welcome.
interesting. All right. Tamara, I can't
Has a
hear you.
question.
You're muted.
Yeah, I just wanted to add something about that, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Sometimes in different training with different mentors, they also train something called a force connection, and that's when your eye is pulled, and obviously everybody gets energy differently and everybody works differently, but sometimes there is something that will just kind of pull your eye to something, and there's a reason for it, and it's for me anyway, it's spirit that is pulling my eye, and it's either something on, like I'm looking at a bag right now, something on the bag, it's the color of the bag, or something written on the bag that they're trying to show me. And so just
Yeah, I like that because it was your picture, Tamara. They pulled me right to the little boy behind you. And
yeah,
I couldn't let go of the little boy.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
something.
to zoom in, yeah, it's cool. Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. All right. Who wants to go next? Adrienne, thank you. Step on up.
So I feel like I'm being kind of pulled to Elise, but everybody please listen. I feel like I have a male here with me, and I want to throw out the name like Roderick, Ron. It's like the RO type of name. And then I get the vision of a ballet, and I had to look it up, A Midsummer's Night Dream. For some reason, I feel like I'm seeing that in particular. And I feel like I'm seeing like the scenes with people dressed in like that kind of attire where I would, yeah, like the little kind of wreath around the head thing. Um, and then I feel like I have a man in spirit making reference to this, and I feel like when I see him, I don't see much hair on top. I feel like either bald or thin on top, and then like a mustache. And I know that he's just a very sweet man. I know that he's very happy. He gave me the word jovial. Like I almost just want to like kiss his head. Like he's very sweet, he's very kind. Um and very friendly. I feel like there's something about a friend I want to reference with him. So would you understand this, Elise? Is this making sense at all? If not, I'll open it up.
I'm not
Um,
sure. Yeah, I don't know the name.
okay.
I'm not really sure of the description. I can understand ballet and plays. But I don't know. No, I don't know who
Okay.
this. Yeah.
Okay, let me keep going and see if it makes sense. If not, I'll open it up to the group. Let me see what else it can give me here. I feel like he's very smart. Like, I feel like he's very knowledgeable and he knows about a lot of things. But I also feel like if he were to tell you information, he would do it in a kind way. Like, I don't feel like it would ever be in a way where, like, to make you feel less than or like he's above or anything like that. Like, I feel like he does it in a very kind way, and it's almost in a way where you would think that maybe you would think of this, but he's kind of like planting the seeds to get people to think of whatever the topic might be. Um, does that make sense at all? Or
Well, I don't think I know this guy.
okay, let me
Carol, I
just
think
open
Carol
it up.
might.
Okay,
I'm
Carol.
listening. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Um, I keep getting the reference to the movie Waterworld. I don't know if you've seen that one. It's older. I want to say like 90s. Kevin Costner's in it, but there's a man in it, and I couldn't tell you the character's name to be honest, but he's very smart and like he is like an inventor and um he's a very happy man. Um and he actually ends up coming back to like save people and stuff. So I feel like there's something about that character in particular that would be similar to this man in spirit, where he would be very helpful and very smart. I don't know about inventing, but he could. He very well could.
That makes
Uh,
sense.
okay, thank you. Would you understand that your connection with this man isn't super close because I'm feeling like there's a little bit of a distance there?
Correct.
Okay, thank you. Because I almost feel like I'm trying to get him to come closer, but he's like, no, there's like this distance.
Mhm.
So, okay. Would you also understand that for some reason I want to go to like job or work related? Would you understand that with him?
No.
Let's see. Would you under if it's not a colleague like that, would you understand like he would know I feel like I want to talk about your job or work related. Like he would know about this or he would
He
I feel like there's
he did know about it, and he was kind of like a colleague. Yes.
okay. Okay. Thank you.
Mhm.
Because I feel like he's kind of making reference to that. Um and I feel like he's kind of talking about you in like that professional setting. Uh
Makes sense.
would you also understand in your job situation, like in that professional setting, you had to kind of learn to gauge people and you had to kind of learn like different personalities and like how to handle different personalities, like kind of
Oh yeah.
read people. Okay.
Oh yeah. Mhm.
Um, because he's kind of letting me know like that kind of helps you in this and like the spirit world too, to kind of sort out like the different personalities and how you can like approach it and like a better way of doing that. Um, like he's just kind of saying like it helped to set that up, like being able to read people easier. Um, he's going back to the play or the ballet. And
Ballet.
I okay. And I almost feel as if I'm like watching it from behind the curtain. So would you understand anything to do with that ballet and like backstage or like being behind it or something? Because I feel like I want to reference like being behind the curtain or like
It would make sense that uh behind the curtain, but not in reference to the ballet.
okay, thank you. Because I feel like I'm seeing like like the curtains dropping and then like
Yeah,
he's
that would
coming
make
out
sense.
more. Okay.
That would make sense.
Okay. Thank you. Um, I get so much love and happiness with him. I know he's just a very happy spirit. And I feel like being around him, it's like you just kind of feel uplifted being in his
Yes.
presence and being in his energy.
Yes.
Like that's just the effect he has on people. But I feel like he's also making reference to like a poster. I feel like I'm seeing a poster on the wall. And I almost want to, like he's trying to make it out more clear. For some reason, I want to say like Al Pacino or something. Like I want to go to like an actor like this. So I don't know if you would understand a poster.
Yes.
Um, but then he's also making reference to baseball, and I want to say like I feel like whatever team it is, like it's professional, but I want to say it feels like it's set back in time a little bit. So I feel like this sports team would have been a favorite maybe in the 90s or like the 80s or something like that. And I'm almost seeing like the older style mitt, like it doesn't look so modern, like the ones that would have kind of like just the three little pieces in the middle. So I don't know if you could understand the reference to professional baseball, but like back in the day.
I do not know.
Okay. The Mets? I don't even know. I don't even know. And I feel like it's not even baseball. It's probably a different sports team, but I want to throw that out too. Isn't that basketball? I don't know. I'm not a big sports person, so I feel like there's reference to like professional sports as well. And with that, I'm kind of asking, like a message, if he has a message for you. And I feel like he's just kind of saying he's coming in to say hello. Coming in to just kind of share in the energy and the vibration, and he'll be back.
Aw.
Yeah, so I'll leave him with you, and I thank him for coming in.
Oh, well, that was fantastic, Adrienne. Thank you. Okay, would you like some feedback?
Yes, please.
Okay, so the imagery on this was kind of interesting because you were talking about in the very beginning about Midsummer's Night Dream, which is sort of fantastical, I guess is the word that I want, okay, in the set. And I was actually just looking at the Metropolitan's Opera video of the Magic Flute, which has a scene in that that's very similar, where they have these little kids that they put on wires, and they're all wearing they're painted white, and they're wearing big diapers, and they have like those leaf crowns on their head,
Yeah.
okay, and they're flying across the sky like fairies, okay, and literally was just watching that yesterday, which is kind of funny. Ballet was one of his passions. He was not a ballet dancer, but it was just a passion for him. And this man was actually a bandmate of mine. And so what would happen was, is I would go directly from work and then go to band rehearsal. All right. And I'd be complaining to him about work, which kind of explains how you got the mix. Okay. But he wasn't
Okay.
a colleague, but he knew an awful lot about, what I did, because I just complained to him, all the time about it. So, and the very happy personality, very true. He was just one of my favorite people. Okay. And the Al Pacino reference, I think, actually refers to a conversation I had the other day about a famous gangster. So, and let's leave that at that. And who wants to go next? Joann, thank you.
Okay. I think the hardest part of doing platform reading is you get a little information. I don't want any more. I want any more. And I don't know with any one of you, and I'm sure you feel this feeling. this revving of a feeling, and I want to sit on it, and then it goes away and it comes back. So what I have right with me, the information, I heard, it's interesting, patty cake, baker's man, bake me a cake as fast as you can. And then I heard flatjacks. I'm like, okay, this is weird. So I was drawn initially to Candice, and then Spirit had me go to Elise's cat. So if you both can pay attention to what I have to say, because I don't know who's bringing this forward. And when I say that, actually, I have a gentleman coming forward. And I believe he either made flatjacks, pancakes, and enjoy the pancakes because it's something reference to pancakes. And I'm going to stop right there. Can either one of you understand? Okay, Elise, yeah, I thought so. Because I'm like, okay. And I feel that, okay, thank you, Elise. May I work with you, Elise?
Yes.
Okay. And Candice, obviously, listen up just in case. But Spirit had me look at your cat, and there's something about Spirit had shared with me about your cat. I feel like he was named after someone you cared for, Mike. No?
It's just
Okay.
his
There was
name.
something about Mike. Okay. So maybe it was just Spirit wanted me to look at Mike. But this okay. To describe the spirit's coming through, I feel like he's a male. And I'm getting the peripheral of vision of his hair. And I feel like it's curly like on the outside. Or if it wasn't that, he didn't care whether his hair was messy. Either one. That's what I'm getting with him. Um, he told me he liked to rough house. So I'm getting a feeling that this is your brother. And there's something about when he came through and when he said that, it was like very playful, and he wanted to bring that forward. And I feel like that was the memory that you had, or and if he didn't have, that's something that you would have done. And now he's showing me a fishing rod, and he's showing me I don't even know the proper name, where he would have his container where he would put all his gear, and I feel like he took pride and organized that. Like he's taking, what is that canister that you would hold and you would put the hooks and things like that. Would you understand he would fish? Because he's
Yeah.
showing me this. Okay.
Uh-huh.
And he's showing me um the container that he would hold all his gear. And I don't know whether you know this or not, but he had a favorite hook that he always used. He's informing me.
Yeah, I understand that.
Thank you. And he's now taking me to a pier, his favorite pier where he liked to fish. Would you understand that?
I understand the
Elise?
period myself.
Okay. Thank you. I feel that this is definitely his favorite pastime.
Yes.
And he's now showing me a memory of both of you um, sitting and fishing. Do you understand that? Would you have done that with him, Elise?
I understand fishing with him. Yes.
Okay, thank you. And I feel like the message is already coming. It was his favorite pastime, and I feel that he wants you to do that as well. It's he would relish in that time if there's peace there. It was just you and the water and fishing. That's what I'm getting a sense, and he really enjoyed that pastime. But he's also showing me that you guys would like him elbowing you or you elbowing him for as children. Um, he's going back to referring to the flatjacks. Would you understand that, flatjacks? Okay.
Yes, pancakes. Yes, flapjacks.
Okay, I know, but he's going back to that, and
Yep.
there's okay. So when I said that, he showed me there was a place or favorite place that he liked to get his flatjacks. He sort of showed me a peripheral building of where he liked to get his I'll say pancakes, flatjacks. And I feel like it was like his favorite meal. I'm getting a sense that he loved breakfast. And he's also sharing with me now I don't know. He's sharing with me that you're traveling. There's going to be travel. But I feel like it's in a car. It's not in a plane. And you packing up the car. He's showing me you packing up the car. But I feel like it's out west. And I'm hearing Arizona. Would you understand anything about it around Arizona?
Yep.
Thank you. What I feel with his energy, he'd be the one that would stick out his head from the car and love the wind hitting in his face. And he's been really funny about it. I don't know if he had done this when he was a kid. But I feel that his energy will be with you in spirit. And he's also sharing that it's a must needed trip and it's it's deserved trip. And he's sharing with me, you're going to really enjoy it. That's why I'm getting the sense. And he's going to be there with you. And I'll leave his love with you.
Thank you. Mike enjoyed it as well. Thank you.
Yeah.
Would you like any feedback?
Sure. Sure.
Yes, pancakes. It was his favorite place. He loved to, I don't know if he loved to cook, but he did a lot of cooking in his house. So he would make the pancakes.
Okay.
Weekends for sure. Fishing was definitely his thing. And I have a pier here where I live, not where we lived really. And I was thinking about this morning, I was thinking about going to the beach and walking down the pier and back and around the beach. So I love all that. Let's see Mike the cat. when I lived in Arizona for a bit. When I first moved, I was afraid to take Mike with me because of the coyotes. So he stayed at their house, and that didn't work out. So I had to come get him, but he lived with him for a little while. So,
Oh,
that's
that's what it
about
was.
Mike.
Okay.
Yeah. And yeah, I'm waiting for the trip. I'm excited. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so the connection. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So are you planning on going to Arizona now, Elise?
I've been
Back to
planning
Arizona?
since I left.
Oh,
Well, not
okay.
really, but
Okay. So this is interesting because so Joann then, what if I'm understanding this correctly is that Elise's brother knows that she's planning this trip to Arizona, even though, how long ago did he cross over, Elise?
3 years, 3+. Yeah, a little over 3.
And Joann, you said I heard Arizona. Can you explain that for the benefit of you just blurted that out?
It's
Tell
sort of, I don't hear it outside my ear, but I just hear it. I hear Arizona within my, I guess, it's hard for me to explain because sometimes I'll hear it outside my ear, but I'll hear it. I've always heard spirit talk to me.
Okay.
And I don't know how to explain it. It's hard, but it's not them shouting in my ear, but it's sort of a knowing, and I hear it, and that's how I know.
All right.
One other thing I wanted to share as well, the fishing hook. Fishing was his life. I mean, like literally. And since he's passed, I find, and my daughter as well, find fish hooks and it's always kind of the same shape in the strangest places. I mean, strangest in a parking lot. You step down and all of a sudden there's a fish hook. Yeah, so I find them all over the place. Like, okay, so
Okay.
I have a little basket in my car. I just hang them on my basket. So I have a collection.
Wow. Really cool.
Thank you.
Nicely done, Joann. All right, who wants to go next? Candice, thank you.
Okay. I'm a little bit drawn to you, Carol, since we're doing that today, but if everyone can listen. So I feel like I have a man with me, and he was making me aware of like having a deep voice. I felt like he could have been like blowing an instrument, and I feel like if there was ever an instrument that he used, it was one that was like deep tone. And he's taking me to a place where I feel like I wouldn't sit on a stool, like I would sit on a chair, you know. Can you take a man like this?
I can take more than one man like that.
Okay, let me keep going. And I also feel that there could have been a problem with his legs. I don't know if this is like cellulitis or discoloration, swelling. I feel like there's something like that. I don't know if you would know.
Yeah.
Okay.
That makes sense.
And I also feel like when I see him sitting that he's making reference of like also enjoying like country music. I don't know if that's the right like genre that I'm saying, but I feel like it's country rock or something like that. It's something a bit different or yeah.
Honestly, I don't know.
Okay, no problem. And yeah. Would you know him to have like had a drink?
Yes.
Because he showed me something dark and I felt like I was hearing word rum. Can you take that?
Yeah, that would make sense. Yeah.
And he's making me feel that he was respected and a gentleman. And he's talking about like you were a good man if you bought others drinks too.
Yes.
Can you take that?
Yep.
Or like the ladies, yeah, a drink.
Yeah.
And he's making me aware of you liking something sweeter than he would have.
Absolutely.
And yeah. I feel that he is also sharing that he liked it when people looked after their things, you know. And I feel this like material things or things that were dear to them. And that was just the kind of person that he was. He appreciated things, especially if things were given to him, because he's saying that he didn't like undercuts. Can you take that?
That would make sense. Yeah.
Okay. And yeah, let me just see what else he's sharing. And I feel that there was a side to him that not many people saw, where he could like make a child laugh or get down on their level. Do you know that about him?
He had children. I would guess that's true. Yeah.
Did he have children? Okay. But I feel that he was good at what he did, and I want to say that he would have been successful. And I feel that he would have been like a strong person too, that would have been able to handle any situation. Can you take that?
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Let's see. And I feel like I don't want to be in front of the crowd and like doing things where he may have been like a leader. I feel like he's more would have wanted to help people from like behind the scenes.
That makes sense. Yeah.
And not like for that to be known so much, you know?
That makes sense.
Okay. Let's just see what else he's giving me. But I feel that you would have made like a great impact in his life, maybe more than you realize or more than he would have shared with you. Can you take that?
If I made any impact on his life, I have no knowledge of that at all. So
because I feel like he's saying that you would have had like good conversations together where he would have learned a lot just from speaking to you.
We did have conversations, yes.
Or like watched you, what you were doing, how you handle people. Because he's making me feel like you gave everybody a chance and encouraged them to come and try. Can you take that?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And even people who may have been like new or starting out their journey or beginning, I feel like you would happily take somebody under your wing and show them the ropes or show them how to do things. Can you take that?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I felt like he admired this, you know, and there may have also been like a fondness there of you know, maybe your man is like a lucky guy. Can you take that?
I like to think so.
I just feel like you would have thought about that, you know. Let's see. And I feel that, and I don't know if you would you know if he had like a truck or if he got in a car and it would rev, so you would know if you were inside, you could hear the car. Because he's making me aware that it would be a bit loud, the engine of it.
I don't remember.
Okay, no problem. And he's also taking my awareness to being involved with some kind of charity or where some kind of work that he would have done, which may have included the car. You know, driving from this place to that place.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Offering and like being in service.
Yep.
And he's also showing me like helping an elderly lady cross the road, or that could be symbolic of his personality, you know?
I'm sure he helped many old ladies cross the road. Yeah.
And I'm being made, he's making reference to like a drink again, but now I feel like it's a little shooter glass, and he's saying like, just have this because it's cold outside and this will warm you up. Take that. Like
It
it
is
will be
cold. It's cold where I am. Yes.
like it will warm you up. It will warm up the insides. Yeah. And I just feel like there may have been something about his eyes too, which may have been like piercing or could reach into his soul, you know. I just feel that he was wise beyond his years, but he didn't always share it, you know. He would have come out with what personality he wanted others to see. If you know what I mean. Can you take
Yes.
that?
Yes.
Okay. And would have wanted to like help in his own way. Yeah, his own way of how he knew best. And he loved it when people like came and sat by him and communicated with him, because I feel like he would have felt special and that people were making efforts to like communicate with him and get to know him better. And he's making reference of like music really touched his soul and raised the vibe and lifted his spirits. Because I feel that he would have been maybe lonely at home, you know. Can you take that?
Yes.
Yeah. So I just feel like it was maybe a regular thing that he used to do, go out and just to like be surrounded by those friends that he loved and that made a difference. So I feel like he's just thanking you for that and happy that he got to know you, and yeah, for the joy that you bring to others that I feel that he was witness of. So I'll leave that with you.
Well, thank you, Candice. That was marvelous. Would you like some feedback?
Yeah, thanks.
Okay. All right. So first of all, being a musician, I know hundreds of them. Okay. So I have to congratulate you for being able to hone in on one specifically. But this was the first time that this particular musician has ever come in to Circle. All right. And I was able to identify him by something you said, and I'm going to come back to that. Okay. But he did, you know, we were in an, well, I'll start with where he played. Okay. Because, you know, you said that he was a little bit of a higher level guy. Okay. Which was true. Okay. Now I played with him in a band, but he was also in a better band than the one that we were in. Ours was strictly for fun, and we drank a lot of alcohol and things like that when we were playing. Okay. But he was also in another band that was much higher level and much more serious musicians than we were. And he actually did, for that band that he, with the other band that he was in, he actually was part of like the management of the band and was on the board of directors and things like that, working behind the scenes to see how things were doing. The band that we were in, he and I, we actually do charity work because we raise funds for veterans charities. Okay, so we don't personally get paid, but the money that we make, we donate to veterans charities. Okay. And let's see what else. Oh, you talked about him sitting on a chair. All right, which I thought was very, very specific. All right. And I'm going to tell you, this man was a tuba player. Okay. So, and this is what I want to know, because the words that you used, you said he plays a deep toned instrument. Now, of all the instruments that you could have picked, all the things you could have said, why did you say deep toned instrument?
I don't know the proper word for that instrument. And I feel like Spirit were just giving me like something so deep. I was hearing a deep sound.
Okay. All right. And so you were able to isolate that for me. Okay. Even though you couldn't identify the instrument itself, you just knew that it was something that was deeper, and he had to sit on a chair to play it.
Okay.
Okay. Which, because they're so large, you know,
Yeah.
now granted they, you know, in a marching band, they'll march with them, but that's very heavy. All right. You know, and he was a big guy, and, you know, in a symphony or, you know, any kind of like brass band, the tuba players will sit in their chairs and, play that because that instrument's so large, So bravo, Candice. That was very well done. All right, we have Tamara and Elise. Who would like to go next? Tamara, thank you. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Carol. So I have a man here who feels very he feels like he didn't live to an old age. And the first thing he shows me is ping pong. So he's playing lots of ping pong. But as I've kind of sat here with him, I've felt this very kind of like a deep soul in him. And he gave me a very funny feeling around my mouth. So it almost made me wonder if there was something in his passing that had to do with his mouth or like it getting numb. It was just a very strange, interesting feeling. He shows me that, and I'll check in with you in just a minute. He shows me having he feels like a very warm person, very kind of warm. He shows me putting his arm around someone, kind of like patting them on the back and talking to them, almost like encouraging them or listening to them, so supportive in some way. So I would, oh, and the name that came in also was Jimmy. But that was a while ago. It was like when we were first starting. And so it's not like a fresh, coming in so that I can feel as much whether it really feels right. But at the time it felt right. So let me just check in first. Who here would understand someone who would show me ping pong first? So it must have been important or something he really enjoyed playing. He didn't live to an old age. Perhaps something having to do something, around his mouth would have been. He feels very just this kind of deep, thoughtful energy and a good listener, supportive person. You, Candice? I also do feel that he was not a direct family relative, by the way.
Yeah.
Okay. Am I with you, Candice, you think?
I can take everything except the name.
Okay, thank you. So, except the name you said? Okay, thank you. Okay, so another name just popped in, and I'm going to say it just because we know names can be tricky. And if you don't say it, then afterward you find out that was the name. It was like, oh my gosh. So I was getting like Pauline. First I got Pauline, and then I got Paul. So I'm going to.
Yes, I can take a poll.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so there we go. Okay, so let me just. I feel that he. Would you understand this kind of depth in his soul? It's just kind of. Oh my gosh.
Tamara, I'm listening also.
You are. Okay, thank you, Effie. And do you also understand the name Paul, Effie?
I understand Paul and Pauline.
Paul and Pauline. Okay, great. So you're both listening. Okay, and you understand this depth of soul. Would either one of you understand why he would be giving me a feeling around my mouth?
Yes.
That it's kind of a funky, numb feeling. You understand it too, Candice? Both of you. Okay, thank you. Okay, so let me just narrow this down for just a minute. Okay. Would both of you also understand? He's showing me a horse. So he's walking with a horse now. So I feel that he had a connection to horses, or he had a horse, or he spent some kind of time with a horse. Would you both understand this?
No.
I don't know about a horse.
Neither one of you. Okay. Oh, okay. Interesting. Maybe somebody else is trying to come in. Stay away. I'm working with Paul. Okay, so let me just let me see how we're gonna sort this out. Candice, do you also understand the name Pauline?
No.
Okay, so Paul and Pauline. Okay, thank you. Okay, so let me just lean in here a little bit more. Oh, this is really interesting. He's talking about walking along the ridge of a canyon or the ridge of something. So would you understand, um, either one of you or both, understanding walking along, I'm going to call it the edge of something, or would that resonate with you? You or him?
I understand,
that.
yes. Yeah.
Would you both understand it? Oh my goodness. Okay, let's see. Um, Okay, would you also understand that I feel like I've got some conflicting spirits coming in here, almost like I've got a few here overlapping. So you would also understand that this person, that he would also feel that you were also, let me just double check in with this. Bear with me one minute here. That you were also a very good listener for him. Would you understand that?
Yes.
You were.
Mhm.
Okay. And you too, Candice. Okay. Would both of you also understand? Would you also understand that I've got puzzles coming in? So, okay, we puzzled things through together. So, it felt like a puzzle. We're putting puzzles together, but in fact, he's saying we puzzled things through together. Would you also understand that, Effie?
Yes.
And you too, Candice?
Yeah.
Okay, let me see if I can get something a little bit more specific. He would also have been, I'm feeling like some kind of like smoothie shakes, something like that. Okay, I do feel that when he was ill, he was needing to drink like liquefied food. That's what I'm feeling like. Would you understand that?
I don't know.
You understand that, Candice?
Yeah.
Okay. Gosh, I'm really wondering though, because Effie's got both of those names in there. So this is a tricky one. And let's see, 2 minutes, a little under 3 minutes. Let me just see if he can give me something that's more really specific. Okay, so now I'm understanding we would walk to the corner market.
Yes, there was a market.
Okay, Candice, do you understand that?
No, so I'll be out.
Okay, we would walk to the corner market. Okay, so Effie, let me just keep listening, Candice, if you don't mind. And Effie, let me just get a couple more things here. Okay, so my illness. So he's saying that my illness caused me to go into a real kind of tailspin. There was a lot of confusion at that time. It took them a while to figure out what it was. Backstepping, backstepping. He keeps saying it was like backstepping, backstepping. Um, is this making sense to you, Effie? Let me just make sure.
I don't. I understand the backstepping, but I don't understand the rest.
Okay, but the backstepping, like we're backstepping, we're backstepping. Okay, I still think I'm probably with you because of the names. Okay, so is Paul in spirit?
Yes.
Okay, and Pauline is here?
She is my friend, yeah.
Okay, let me just, it's probably a message for Pauline, so let me just cue into that for just a minute. Would you understand Pauline to be a romantic partner with Paul?
Yes.
Okay, love of his life.
Hmm.
Mhm. And she always will be. He says, I feel good that she's doing pretty well now. Would you understand
She
that?
is. Yes, she is.
Okay. And he's still with her. He's not around her quite as much because he knows she's doing pretty well and doesn't.
There was an instance, yes,
Okay.
that
Okay.
yeah, he had to step back.
Okay. All right. But he's still here whenever she needs him. Okay, so if you pass that along to Pauline, that would be great. And I'm gonna, well, I've got 33 seconds. Let me see if he's got anything else. Okay, and always, you know, tell her it's interesting. Tell her I love her and I always will. Yet I'm also feeling like, you know, and it's a little hard to tell if it's not me saying, but don't tell her because she's doing fine now.
And
So
I can tell her by myself when we're one-on-one, yes, this message, yeah.
Ooh, nice job, Tammy. Do you have feedback for her, Effie?
So I understand Paul, when I met him, he was my friend Pauline's boyfriend. And he was he lived on the edge. He's a drug addict, and he was always foaming from my mouth when they would find him. This is afterwards. I should be careful. And he was an old soul because he was such a good man, and I could see it, I could sense it from him, and he was trying to get his life together. And he wasn't always, it was only when the addiction got him, he would turn into somebody else. But when he wasn't, he was a really, really good man, and he was really caring, and I could see it. And he really loved my friend very, very much. And we would, I'd go over to his house with my girlfriend, and the market was down the street because it was in downtown. So it wasn't far that we could just go to the corner store. And back then we would just, we're getting snacks. We would run to the corner store and pick up things. And his life afterwards, we've lost contact, and sort of Pauline. And I don't know what happened, but there was he passed away way, way too young, and he had so much potential inside him. But they found him the same way how she would find him, on the floor.
yeah, what an amazing soul. I mean, he's just, wow.
Very
So,
deep, very deep, deep conversations. And he would talk to me about lots of things, and we would just help him with his life, what he was going through.
oh my gosh. Yeah, he's giving me little zingers here, as you're
And
talking.
so she's doing very well. But when we're one-on-one, I can give her these messages because she has moved on. And when he passed, he was coming into her bedroom before even knowing anything about this, not believing this. And she had one of those old answering machines before we had phones, and it was unplugged, and the cord was wrapped around the answering machine, and it would go off every night, really, really, really loud. And you could hear her, "Hello, I'm not home right now." And she was spooked because it's not on. So she could sense him all over her
Wow.
room the first week. And so one day she got fed up, and she had to, in her mind, say, "Back off."
Wow.
And she stood her ground, and she told him, and it stopped. So I remember she was sharing that story.
Yeah, he's got a strong energy. The fact that he could just make my mouth keep feeling that way. And he also gave other like bodily sensations where I almost felt slightly paralyzed. So yeah, I could see how he could do that because he's very
Very deep,
yeah.
very deep, man. Thank you. That was great.
Great job, Tammy. All right, Elise, do you want to give it a go?
I do. Thank you, Carol.
Thank you.
I was sitting here when everybody was talking. I was like, okay, I'm not going to get a prelim today. We're just going to jump right into this. And then, then I have a man show up, of course, this man, and he's giving me Mike, the weatherman. At first he said the weatherman, and then he said Mike, the weatherman. Mike, the weatherman. Very Mike, the weatherman. And he has that voice. He has a TV talking voice, whatever that means, a TV talking voice. Mike the weatherman. And he's also referring to Boston, to being in the Boston area. He's saying, Mike the weatherman. So I was trying to say myself, I'm trying to see, like, is this guy sitting in a chair watching Mike? But it's like, Mike is the weatherman. Why? Mike is the weatherman. So I'm just going to stop there. I know there's a lot more. Does anyone understand Mike the weatherman? Mike the weatherman?
Elise.
Yes.
It's I can take Boston and it's his voice.
It's his voice. It's like a TV or a radio voice or a announcer voice, kind of voice. Yes, you can
He has
understand.
a voice, a strong voice.
Okay, do you understand about the name Mike then? Or the
No,
Mike the
I don't
weatherman?
know.
Mike the weatherman. Okay, well, let's just keep going because I'm not sure what that is about. Mike. This guy has a lot of energy, a lot of good energy. He's a lot of good energy. He's a good guy. He's smiling. He's happy. He has big and bright. He says big and bright energy. Big and bright energy. So a great sense of humor. He has a great sense of humor. He has a lot of guys around him. And he's like in the bar in the bars of Boston, or he's talking about hanging out. So he's hanging out with his guy friends, having a beer. Do you understand that with this guy?
I don't know that.
Nope. Okay, let's see. Who is this guy? This guy is he's younger. He lived into an older years. But he's showing me younger. And he's going back to Boston, and he did some sort of announcing work in his younger years. He didn't stay there, but he started there. And he's going back to the Boston area and went to school. Went to school there. And Tammy and Carol, and Paul, to both of y'all, do y'all understand a younger guy in the Boston area with this speaking? He's speaking this announcer voice. He's like on the air. He says he is heard. He is heard. Who's this guy? Either one of you understand this guy at all?
I understand a man who was on TV, okay, and had that announcer voice, but he is, to my knowledge, living.
And do you understand about the Boston or weather? I know he keeps talking about the weatherman. Or
No,
the name
he was not a weatherman. He was a reporter.
He was a reporter. Okay. Do you understand the name Mike with him or around him? Mike.
Yeah.
You too. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I just realized there is a mic. Anyway, he knows a mic.
Okay. Oh gosh. Okay. Okay. So this guy is on TV and he has this voice, and he lived into, Carol, I'm gonna ask you, he lived into his he did this when he was younger, but stopped.
No.
He did it
No.
for, he lived in his older age. I mean, he lived to be older.
Yeah, he's still alive.
That's right. I'm sorry.
Mhm.
I lost that somewhere.
Okay.
He's still alive. Oh, great. Okay. Okay. Okay, so let's go back to this. Like I said before, I couldn't tell if there's somebody. Would you understand a man that has passed that would have watched him? Who had watched the screen, because he keeps showing me the screen, that would have watched him on TV. Do you know a man in spirit? I'm trying to find some connection to this man.
I'm sure everybody in the city saw him on TV. Sorry.
Oh, oh my gosh, where am I? I don't know where I am. What is he making me? Carol, do you understand a mic in spirit?
I'd have to think about it. I have so many people in spirit. Mike is not coming to mind immediately.
Well, okay. Let's see if I can regroup and go again here, because I don't know what is happening. What is happening here? What is happening here? Okay. Regroup. Okay, I have a man here, very different temperament. He's very quiet, very quiet, stoic, he says, very quiet and stoic. Quiet and stoic. He was a working man, not educated. He's giving me the name Sam. He's working outdoors. He's driving a truck. He's driving a pickup truck. He's showing me like pulled up in front of a very manicured home. Okay. He works with the plants. He works with the landscape. He works with the outdoors. Does anyone understand this man?
I understand Sam, who worked outdoors with landscaping, had a pickup truck, and he's also alive.
What is this today? Does anyone understand this guy in spirit? Okay, I see it at our live. Is there? Oh, why? Oh, why?
Elise, I know his name is not Sam, but he knows a Sam. He works a semi truck, and I can see him working out in the garden.
Okay. Well, let me go. What is with this? What do I have two people in body? So, Carol, would you understand a man in spirit? Question, I know I'm done here, but I want to see if there's some sort of do you understand a man in spirit that would be connected to this landscape, that he would do work for him?
The man who does, Sam, who does the landscaping, does have somebody in spirit. Yes.
Okay.
All right. I think I understand what the connection is here. Do you want?
Please. He's showing me this triangle. He's like, come on, there's like this. I'm like, what is it?
Oh,
Please.
okay. So I want to start with Mike the Weatherman. All right. Because I had decades ago one date with a guy who turned out to be a TV reporter. Okay. That's where his career went. Okay. So, and it was the date from hell because he had that announcer voice. All right. And we went out on New Year's Eve. We're in this bar. And as midnight was approaching and all the bells were going off and this kind of stuff, he said to me in that announcer voice, "Would it be all right if I kissed you?" And it was the announcer voice. All right. And I jumped up away from the table and I fled and locked myself in the ladies' bathroom. Okay. So, but
Just the
anyway,
bar.
so
Okay.
and years later, for years afterwards, I saw him on TV every day, okay, because he was a local reporter, and that voice just will never go away in my head. But what's interesting is that Mike is the weatherman on that channel, okay? But that reporter is still alive, and he actually just announced his retirement, okay, which was kind of funny. All right. And then Sam, who was outdoors with the pickup truck, okay, is a family member, but you know, he would have other people in spirit too. Okay.
Family member of the guy?
Say what?
The landscape guy is a family member of this guy that we're talking about?
No.
Of you. Okay.
My family member. Yeah, you switch spirits. Okay.
Yeah, right. Definitely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So now I have a question for you. You had such specific information. Okay. There, Mike the weatherman, the announcer voice. Okay. Any idea how that happened?
No, it just comes in and I write it. Like I said, I thought, okay, I don't have anything. I'm just going with nothing when it's my turn. And then all of a sudden I get Mike the weatherman. So I write it down. I'm like, okay, I don't know. And then, yeah, I don't know how it.
There you go.
I got y'all in the bar anyway. I don't know. That was very strange. That was interesting.
Oh my gosh. Well, that was delightful. Thank you for bringing that bad memory back. Oh my goodness. All right. I'm going to go ahead and give it a shot here. Let me see if I can grab a link. So I'm becoming aware of the presence of a female here who is all business. She wears high heels and she kind of walks angrily because I can hear these heels going tap, 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 tap. Very purposeful. Hearing the word networking. All right. And this seems to be her mission, is this very purposeful woman wants to network. So I'll stop and ask if anyone is recognizing any elements of this yet. No? Okay, let me lean into her a bit more. Hearing the words Mary Kay. So I don't know if that's like Mary initial K. Her name's Mary Kay. She uses Mary Kay Cosmetics. So throwing Mary Kay out there. And I want to go back to these high heels because these are really annoying me. But where I hear these high heels is on a floor that looks like it's marble. Okay. There are not, versus a carpeted surface. Okay. She's walking on a floor that is marble. Okay. So does that help isolate that for anyone?
I'm listening, Carol.
Are you,
Me
Tammy?
too. Me too, Carol.
Oh, I got two,
Me too.
three. Oh boy. Okay. All right. Let's lean into her. Okay. Let me start. Tammy, what elements of that can you take?
I can understand Mary Kay. I can understand heels and purposely, being purposely kind of walking or present and
Yeah.
yeah.
And you understand the marble floor too?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Effie, what about you?
I can understand same as Tamara, but not the marble floor.
On the marble floor. All right. Elise, what about you?
I can take everything that you said for somebody in body, but then Mary Kay is someone's name and initial that's in spirit.
Ooh, okay. What a mix. All right. Everybody keep listening. Let me see if I can get this sorted out in 7 minutes. Okay. So I feel like the woman that I'm talking with dressed expensively. I'm going to say very high end. Do any of you understand that?
Yes.
All of you? Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. I also want to say that you would have seen gold jewelry on this woman and you would have known that it was real from the way that she wore it. Anybody understand that?
I don't remember.
Don't
I don't remember, but I would imagine yes.
What about you, Elise? Okay. Let's see. I feel like this woman would have had occasion to drink champagne, and it was expensive champagne. Anybody understand that?
I would imagine, but I don't know that for sure.
No, Effie, what about you? Don't know. Okay. Elise, what about you? Okay.
The same as Tammy.
Okay. I see her with a male who kind of reminds me of the guy who was in Dynasty. Was that Glenn Ford? Does anybody remember? But the point behind it is that he has the really distinguished looking hair. She's with a guy who has really good hair. Okay. Does anybody understand that?
I don't know.
Don't know. Okay. But Elise understands it. Okay. All right. So I think I've got my sitter then. Thank you, Effie and Tammy, for listening. Elise, is it okay if I work with you? All
Yes,
right.
this lady is in body and the guy with the hair is in body, but the Mary Kay is in spirit.
Okay. So Mary Kay is talking about these people then. Okay. Let's see. Mary Kay feels to me like she is how do I say this? A woman who would be concerned about keeping proper appearances in order to maintain social status. Would that make sense to you?
No, I would understand that for the woman in body.
Okay. All right. But not for Mary Kay. All right. I got to push myself away and get back to Mary Kay. I'm feeling a religious bent here, very traditional. Would that make sense for Mary Kay?
I'm not sure. It's possible.
Okay. See Mary Kay crying. Would she have cried? suffered from depression or something like this?
Maybe.
I got to think about that. Work
Yeah,
on that.
but-
Let's see. Okay. I'm just going to see what Mary Kay wants to say about this woman. Because that's who she came in with initially. So let me run with that. Okay, so Mary Kay is talking about the woman with the heels, okay, and the fancy dress, this kind of stuff. And what I'm picking up is like a level of disappointment in this woman. Would that make sense? Would the woman with the heels have disappointed Mary Kay that you're aware of?
I think she disappointed herself for sure. I don't know, maybe.
Okay, all right.
I have a connection with the two of them, but they don't have a connection.
They don't have a connection. Okay. Why am I feeling this? Tell me why I'm feeling this. She's coming back with this. Okay. So she's talking about this woman with the high heels. And she's talking about this woman not I'm really struggling with this to understand this, and I shouldn't be thinking about it so hard, but she's saying that this woman is not the right choice for you. Okay. And I don't mean that in a romantic sense, but she's saying this woman is not the right choice for you. Would you understand that?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. And that's it. That's all she has to say. Okay. She's saying that back away from the woman in the high heels, that she is not the right choice for you. Okay. And I will leave you that with light and love, and I'm dying to hear some feedback about that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So this woman in the heels, it's funny. I don't know if she's just coming to confirm that. The guy with the hair is her partner, and I knew him first, and then met her. And I haven't seen them in years and years and years. But she definitely wasn't the right choice for me. It was not a good. We tried. It just wasn't. It just wouldn't. It just wouldn't work. So that's very interesting. I'm not sure why she's bringing her in now, but
Okay. All right.
yeah. And Mary Kay is my aunt.
Okay. So, but Mary Kay didn't know this woman, but she's watching you from the other side and saying this woman is not the right choice.
It's very interesting because when my brother passed, which Mary would know, right? I mean, they're in spirit together now. When my brother passed, this girl in the hills and her partner were in my life and around and in that with my brother and at the hospital and part of the family, right, at the time. So.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you for letting me serve spirit. Okay. All right. Well, I've got just a little bit. I want to take one quick second here and ask Adrienne a question. Okay. And I want to know, Adrienne, were you always a medium?
Like born a medium?
Yeah. When did you
No.
first notice that you were intuitive?
Well, I think I probably always have been intuitive, but didn't like piece it together. I didn't actively go into it until probably about, let me think, 12-ish years ago. But didn't really pursue it more until about 8, something like that. So
What made you decide to pursue this line?
well, it's funny. I had just taken like a metaphysical class, and it was like an overview of everything, tarot, like all different modalities, right? And the lady that ran it was like, oh, you're going to do, mediumship. And I was like, I'm not speaking to dead people. Are you crazy?
And look at
But
you
then,
now.
yeah. And then it just kind of started happening where I was like, picking up on stuff and noticing more things. And I'm like, wait a second. So yeah, it just kind of evolved from there.
Okay. All right. So for the benefit of those who are listening, sometimes these things happen later in life. So if you feel like you are getting information, why don't you start trusting yourselves? But I'm going to go ahead and shut us down with a prayer. I want to congratulate everybody on their good work today, but please join me in a closing prayer. Holy Father, Mother God, thank you for allowing us to come together today in service of spirit. Thank you for the gift of mediumship that you've given us, and allow us to use this precious gift to help others who need your healing and love. Bless all of our friends and loved ones and protect them from sickness and harm. Bring joy into the lives of people who have sorrow, health into the lives of people who have illness, and abundance to the lives of people who have little. Thank you for the lessons that you've given us today, and help us to continue to build a relationship with you that is based on love and trust. And always, please help us to be the lights that change this world for the better. Amen. Alrighty, thank you everybody for watching, and we will see you next week, same time, same YouTube channel. Take care.